Hi, can
Hi.
we have your name and what project you have at the festival?
So my name is Doug Vernimmen. I'm based here in Edinburgh, and the film is about the Genetic Society. So it's a documentary about scientific society, and I'm a scientist myself. So it was a good opportunity to launch this film to promote the society. It's actually perfect timing because the society actually celebrated its centenary this year. So it's really good to have this nomination at the festival this year. So for living, I'm a scientist. So I'm based here at the University of Edinburgh, the Rosin Institute. I became a very successful photographer as well over the years. And so that was a perfect project, you know, a bit about imaging and then putting the science together. So being a member of the Genetic Society gave me the idea to make this promotional video for the society.
You mentioned photography. What did you specialize in photography?
Oh, I do mainly, I would say, portraiture. This is what I do, and I like architecture as well. So I've been very fortunate to publish a book of photography as well about the University of Oxford, where I was based before. So the whole thing together gave me, obviously, the inspiration to go ahead with this film. It's called Oxford Through the Lens, which actually which is all the other interesting story with Film Festival is that we did a trailer for advertising the book, and the trailer already won 20 awards at international film festivals. So that's the other film I'm working.
And in terms of, do you have any more future projects? Are you looking to make more films, more documentaries?
I would like to have a film based here in Edinburgh. So that would be the next project, which is already in post-production. I don't tell you more. We'll see how it goes afterwards. And yeah, photography is something I'm developing here as well, but it takes time. But the good advantage, I think, because I don't make this a living, I have time to spend to get a good quality material. Because the problem if you're professional, you always have those deadlines you have to work with and so on, and you can spoil the quality sometimes. So I'm grateful to have my full job at the university, and then I take my time to produce whenever I want.
Would you call yourself a filmmaker?
Yeah, I mean, I would say I never did those films by myself, so that's a very important thing to say. So for the documentary on screening today, it was done with Tom Mortimer, who is another person based at the university who knows everything about filming. He's got all the software, he understands how to put things together, so he's been definitely extremely involved in the project. And for my Oxford book, I have a professional who's been helping to put the movie together. So it's not entirely on my own. I mean, I know how to film, I know how to compose, looking at the photography, the angles and so on. But when it's about work on the computer, doing all the post-production, it's something far beyond my skills.
And also the contrast of being a scientist and making films.
Yeah.
How was that for you?
Well, it sounds maybe odd to say, but it's actually very similar. Because when you do science, you need to produce a certain work. You have a project. You put all your energy, all your love into the project, and then eventually you need to publish your work. You publish your scientific work, and actually, if you do photography or if you do filming, it's exactly the same thing. So you try to have an end product, a story that you want to publish. If it's photography, you make a book. If it's a film, you go to festivals and try to make a nice production. So at the end, I think it's quite the same thing. I mean, when I was a kid, I did lots of drawings. My grandfather was a sculptor, and my mum is a painter. So I think it's been transmitted through the generation, I would say. And my parents always told me, says, well, if you just like drawing, you're not going to make a living. So I decided to go for science because I love biology, and my old passion came back into it and actually perfectly fits with what I'm doing today. So I think it's a bonus having the two different things together.
In terms of advice, giving advice
Mm-hmm.
to, let's say, a young filmmaker that has a passion and he has a subject or topic that he really has a passion about and wants to get it out there, what advice would you give someone who's never had a background in filmmaking but wants to go into filmmaking?
Well, I would say photography is definitely a good way forward because you just work with one image. Actually, you can claim that a photograph is the shortest film you can produce because it's just one shot and you have all the story in one shot. But then, you know, it helps you, you know, to look at different angles, how to present the work and so on, going to photography club, competition and so on. And once you have a good idea of how to present things, you can actually try to make more of it and says, well, now I just want to have the animation together with it, and moving from photograph to film. I think it usually works this way. You start with photography and then you go to film.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And
Okay.
wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you.